A Russian military convoy carrying $500 million in critical bridge repair equipment never reached its destination. At 4:50 a.m. near the Crimean Bridge, 32 trucks loaded with irreplaceable hydraulic systems and oxygen cylinders erupted into an inferno, reaching temperatures above 2,800 degrees Fahrenheit. The attack eliminated Moscow's last hope to stabilize its most vital supply route before winter. Here's the question. If you commanded Russia's defenses, how would you stop an enemy you can't see coming? The convoy sat motionless at the Taman checkpoint, bumper to bumper with barely 2 meters between vehicles. Engines idled while drivers waited for clearance. Inside were precision-machined hydraulic couplings, high-pressure valves exceeding 6,000 psi ratings, and more than 50 industrial oxygen cylinders packed with compressed oxidizer. These custom components couldn't be quickly replaced by Russian manufacturing. Then came the flash. A direct strike hit the convoy's front section with devastating force, turning night into instant daylight through the fog. Steel frames glowed orange as canvas covers disintegrated in the heat. Within seconds, oxygen cylinders ruptured under extreme pressure, flooding the fireball with pure oxidizer that accelerated flame speeds beyond 1 kilometer per second. Atomized hydraulic fluid ignited mid-air. One explosion cascaded into 10. By 4:51 a.m., over half the convoy was engulfed in flames. Pressure waves exceeding 20 psi flattened guard structures, while asphalt buckled and peeled away. Ammunition stored at the checkpoint began detonating, adding sharp secondary blasts. Flames climbed hundreds of feet high, visible for miles. Infrared sensors recorded the thermal spike, brighter than refinery fires. Russian command had no confirmed air attack picture. No aircraft tracks, no missile warnings. Just chaos consuming hundreds of millions of dollars. At that moment, an F-16 fighter jet screamed through the fog at nearly Mach 0.9, flying just 100 feet above the waves. From the ground, it was nothing but a tearing sound and a shadow already gone. Under its wings hung 4 GBU-39 precision bombs, designed to hit within meters of their targets. The jet flew deliberately low, staying beneath radar coverage. Russian sensors reacted late, detecting a manned aircraft already inside their defensive envelope. At 4:53 a.m., 2 S-400 interceptor missiles launched, each worth over $2 million and capable of Mach 5 speeds. Inside the cockpit, warning tones screamed. The pilot didn't climb or turn away. He pushed forward, converting fuel into momentum. At 5 a.m., 4 guided weapons struck the checkpoint. One punched through a truck carrying industrial oxygen. Another shattered hydraulic fluid drums. The reaction was catastrophic, temperatures exceeding 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The fireball consumed what remained of the convoy. Missiles and launch rails began cooking off. By 5:02 a.m., the checkpoint had become a glowing crater, but the attack had begun earlier. At 4:47 a.m., 7 unmanned carrier drones were already flying at high altitudes above the Black Sea. To radar systems, they appeared as civilian background noise. These carriers released over 40 fixed-wing FPV gliders. Carbon fiber wings snapped into place as they separated. With no engine or thermal signature, they descended silently, cutting battery consumption by 65%. By 4:48 a.m., the swarm leveled off at just 50 feet above sea level, where radar coverage collapsed. Each glider carried preloaded coordinates accurate to within 3 meters. The system was mechanical and inevitable. Inside Russian command posts, screens remained calm. No supersonic tracks, no missile launches. By the time sensors registered threats, the swarm had already crossed into lethal range. When Russian S-400 batteries detected something at 4:48 a.m., the radar picture made no sense. Electronic interference inflated tiny glider signatures into massive radar ghosts. 40 gliders appeared as aircraft with wingspans measuring tens of meters. The commander faced an impossible choice. Keeping the main radar transmitting would make his battery a beacon for anti-radiation weapons. At 4:50 a.m., he shut down the primary radar and handed control to short-range Pantsir units. But Pantsir switched to optical modes just as fog thickened. The cold, silent gliders barely registered. Crews fired anyway. Twin 30mm cannons cycled at 5,000 rounds per minute. But gliders came from every direction simultaneously. A single turret couldn't track them all. Short-range interceptors launched, each costing up to $1.2 million. Most lost lock in the fog. One destroyed a $700 glider. The economics were devastating. Several gliders slipped through. One struck a command vehicle. Another hit a loaded launcher, triggering an explosion that flipped the 30-ton vehicle. Russians fired aerosol canisters overhead, releasing metallic mist to blind sensors. 20 gliders lost control and tumbled. For a moment, it appeared the defense had succeeded, but that was the trap. While Pantsir burned through expensive ammunition fighting cheap drones, the precision weapons were already falling. The ledger tells the story. Ukraine expended approximately $2 million. Russia lost a convoy worth nearly $500 million. Months of manufacturing capacity, and critically, the ability to repair the Crimean Bridge, the logistical artery feeding its southern front. The real damage isn't measured in money, it's measured in time. Every tank and fuel liter now moves slower, through routes never designed for such loads. Once logistics starts choking, it never recovers. This attack exposed something deeper. Russia built its air defenses to stop bombers and jets worth tens of millions. Instead, it spent its most expensive interceptors chasing targets cheaper than motorcycles, while real strikes slip through. The questions remain: was this a reckless gamble or perfectly calculated proof that modern warfare is no longer about who has the biggest weapons, but who understands the math? Will the Crimean Bridge ever be repaired, or has it become a permanent strategic liability? Subscribe to Global Briefing for more analysis of how modern warfare is being rewritten, one calculation at a time.